My first question actually for you is, can you just tell us a little bit about your daughters and what their jobs are?
Yes, I have four daughters, and three of them are on the front line during this pandemic, and one of them is an ER doctor, works in New Mexico, and very closely with the Native Americans. And I have an ICU nurse who she works at the University of Kentucky, and then I have another daughter who she was a respiratory therapist, but then last year she finished her pharmacy school. Now she's a pharmacist over at CVS. And then my fourth daughter, she's in technology. She's not in healthcare, but she's in IT.
So I was wondering how have their lives changed since COVID's hit? Have you noticed any extra stress or just general lifestyle changes that you've seen from them?
Yes, I have. Every single one of them have their own version of a stress because they work in different parts of the healthcare. And so my daughter, who is an emergency room physician, she encounters, COVID patients all the time on a daily basis. And as a mom, I'm always worried for them. And so I always ask her, like, did you have any COVID patient tonight, or did you have COVID patient today, depending on her shift that she has to work. And she always she reminds me that, Mom, they're always there. It's not like I'm gonna have some tonight and none tomorrow. They're always there, so I have to deal with it. And so she had some close calls, which I can tell you the story later. The one that is a nurse, she was also, experienced quite a bit of stress as well, to the point that I was very concerned about her own mental health. When she would come home from Lexington, I could see the level of stress in her, and she would just shut herself out from the normal transactions or conversations at home. So it took a little bit of adjustment as a mother to try to figure out how to, be a mom, an effective, compassionate mom for her at this time, during this phase that she's going through with so much. They had so much COVID patients that was just like unbelievable. But it has subsided now. But last year it was horrible. It was really stressful for them, and they had to carry their own normal load of numbers of patients, and then they had to add extra because some of the nurses, they quit their jobs, so they had to step in and take over the roles. So it was challenging. And then my pharmacist is just as bad because she has to deal with a lot of people that are impatient now because of COVID. So when they go to fill up get the prescription filled, they're not really happy to stand in line. Long lines are everywhere. And so what they do is they reflect it upon the staff and the pharmacist, and they just have to be even extra compassionate and extra kind to them to provide them the service that they need, even though they're just being so frustrated and acting, not so kindly.
I've actually had never heard the point of view of a pharmacist before. I didn't realize that that type of thing was happening with them.
Hmm. Yeah, because they get a lot of patients, and every time you get to pharmacy, there's a long line. Not all the time, but most of the time it seems that way. And so people they just don't have the patience like they used to, and they get frustrated and they, scream or say something that's not kind and nice. And they have extra loads of prescriptions that they have to fill, more than their regular loads that they have to do. But then on top of the extra work that they are doing, then they have to deal with the stress of their customers that are coming to their counter, and they have to provide that good, caring customer service, in addition providing them the medicine that they need. Yeah, it does impact them as well.
So Would you like to tell me a little bit about your daughter in Lexington? How is she feeling now? You had mentioned she was very stressed. Is she any emotionally better?
Yeah, thankfully, it's been over a year now for all of them, and so my nurse daughter, she's doing a lot better, and especially for the fact that she has taken both of the vaccines, so she has that self of sense of security that she doesn't have to worry about her health anymore. Whereas before, the PPE was at scarcity and they didn't have enough the equipment that they needed. And so they not only had to put their jobs at risk, they had to put their health at risk as well to get the jobs done, whatever needed, the tasks done, whatever it was needed to be done. And so now I'm much more calmer and more at ease with herself, and the hospital has gotten better also. So they have less COVID patients and more ordinary patients in the ICU. So that's helping. And encouraging at the same time that we are finally getting closer and closer to take control of the virus instead of virus taking control of our lives. And so I can see the sense of stress is gone. So she doesn't have COVID as a distressor factor anymore. So that's a good thing. And it's the same for my other one too.
How does that make you feel as their mother?
I am so relieved and don't have to worry about it and pray every single day for their health and well-being. Um, yes, because they had so many close calls that it was scary for them to get the COVID, and also the fact that if they would have gotten it, then as a mom, I could have not gone there to help them. Like one incident that I can share the experience was my daughter, who is in New Mexico, the ER physician. Um, she was supposed to come to Atlanta for my last, my one of my other daughters that was graduating from Georgia Tech in Georgia, and they had the outdoor graduation within the football stadium. And so she did all, plan all the trip to make sure she gets there on time for her graduation and all that she was at the very, very close contact with this young lady doing the treatment, um, not knowing that this young lady had COVID. And so in the morning, she's about to leave and come to the airport to catch the flight to come to Atlanta to be with us. Then she realized that she has been exposed to someone who has had COVID. And so we really didn't know what to do. First, you know, should she come or not come? And then if she does catch it, then what are we going to do? So like so much of it, chaotic decisions that had to be made. And um, we decided for her not to come. So she skipped the graduation. She canceled her flight, so she didn't come. And we were praying, I was praying every single day that she doesn't catch it. It was a hard time that we waited for 10 to 14 days for COVID to show up if you have been exposed. And so luckily it didn't happen. She started boosting herself with all sorts of different kinds of vitamins and all different kinds of healthy drinks and whatnot. She's a doctor, she knows what to do. And so they worked. So thank God, it was wonderful. But had she gotten it, it would have been a disaster because she's way over there and we're over here. We can't be there. Who's going to take care of her? It's just a mess. And so it worked out. It worked out okay. At the end, it all was good. But it was scary times during those 2 weeks that we had to wait and see what would happen.
That is wow, that is a lot. I'm very sorry that you and your family had to go through that. That's
Yeah,
very intense.
I It was hard. Yeah, it was hard. I mean, the stories like this are many that they had to sacrifice, their own personal lives for the sake of this. Having, she had patients that she would go to treat and they refused to wear the mask. Or my nurse daughter, the same thing, that they would just take off the mask even though they were COVID, and they had to pay. And you know, I think this taught all of us to bring the best of us out instead of trying to be more resentful and negative towards life. And so in those situations, they taught me that even in those situations where they're putting their lives at stake, going in, treating these patients that need desperate help. And these guys, they don't have any sense of respect to keep their masks on. And yet at the same time, they treat them and they understand the situation, that they are probably in a state of mind that they don't understand what's going on, because some of them were elderly people. So they have that sense of kindness and the caring and compassion in the back of their minds, even though they're going in and risking their own lives to treat these people. And so I learned from them to be even kinder and more compassionate. So that's what I'm saying. This was a practice for us to put our lives in danger, and yet at the same time learn to be better human being for ourselves and for others. So just if that's, I could say, if that's, there's a lesson that we learned, is this, that we have to be better human beings, and it starts within us, and it just goes out towards all the other people that we're around.
So, if we weren't in COVID times, what do you miss most about having your daughters not working during, or what do you miss most about pre-COVID era?
Oh my, the interactions with people. Are you kidding? It's like, it's the best thing ever. And I love to be around people, and that's just the source of energy that I can get. And the fact that I haven't been outside of the home, honestly, I haven't been outside other than just going to the grocery store or maybe the pharmacies. That's about it. I haven't gone anywhere, haven't done anything. And so I can't even imagine, how I would feel just being out there in front of other people, amongst other people, and just be, mingling and talking and hugging, and no more masking and conversing and eating and drinking, all that stuff. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'm ready to go back to school and do all those other sorts of fun things.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Mhm.
It must be harder for
Um,
you guys. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's definitely very hard. But we're surviving. We're survivors.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
um, as we're kind of wrapping up and coming up on the deadline of time, is there anything that you would want to ask of the public? Anything you want people to do to make not only your daughter's lives easier, but your life easier, and everybody who's suffering right now's lives easier? Anything we can do to help you and the rest of the community?
Oh, so sweet. Thank you for asking that question. I think if we can just take a moment and reflect what this COVID has done, to us, to our families, to our friends, to our colleagues in our cities, in our communities, and really truly look at it as a humanity issue, that we need to take control of it and come out victorious with this. So the sooner we can take control of this virus, the sooner we can get back to our normal lives and be humans again. because yeah, we're living in this world of virtuality. Everything is through Zoom or other kinds of platforms having that conversations. So we're losing that human to human connection. And I think that's really important to be intact in order for humanity to survive in the future. So we really have to work our best to see what we can do to help our healthcare workers to get better and get sooner to that path of safety and normalcy, whatever that will be. And never forget to remain kind. We have to be really just kind, because under that osmosis, there's so many other things that is embodied within being kind. And we just try to accept everyone as human beings and respect them and be kind to them. We should be okay, and humanity might survive.
So I really, really appreciate your time, and everything that you've talked to me about today is so fantastic and so many heartwarming stories. You're
Thank you so
welcome.
very much, Megan. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and you're such an inspiration for us.
Thank you.